Welcome back to the ABL review. Here we are with the final week of the regular season for the South Division in season 21. So we had a lot of like do or die games going on. Let's hop into the first game. So here we have Connor taking on Michael or Ishi. I'm gonna try to get over to saying Ishi because there's too many mics. So this was like a do or die game for Ishi in particular. Connor, same thing. He needed to win to have a chance to be in. Not as clear cut as Ishi. He was win, he's in. Nothing else needs to go his way. Lose, he's out. Nothing else that happens will affect anything. So, really an interesting scenario for both of these guys. Yeah. So let's hop into the game here. So we get Donphan versus Thunderous turn 1, which reminds me of my game with Brett last season. I think we had a very similar thing that happened here. We get the Grass Knot going off, Rocky Helmet with a little bit of damage, Stealth Rocks go up. Good switch to go into Cresselia here, especially because it looks like they're both Rocky Helmet, so that means they both deal damage to the contact move of Grass Knot, which I thought is really kind of a funny thing. So we got Mew coming in against Cresselia. Walking Wake's going to come in as the Nasty Plot goes up. And now it's kind of an interesting situation for Mike because there's no way he's going to be able to knock out Mew, and it's going to depend on what this Mew has to be able to hit this Walking Wake. Surf's going to do a pretty good amount of damage. Ice Beam's not going to do it. If he had been packing Dazzling Gleam, this Walking Wake's gone. And this Mew's faster than everything bar the Iron Moth, so that obviously draws that in. But we don't see things go that way. He's going to take the Future Sight attack after the Ice Beam. So all in all, taking 68% on that turn. Plus the Life Orb, so 78% on one turn. Or no, hold on, it took the 48 there. It took this Surf, not the 52 there. So 74%. That's a lot. Surf's going to come out and clean up that Mew. Walking Wake is still in pretty good position here. It kind of ended up baiting him here, going for the Surf. Now, going for the Surf, I think, was probably maybe a risky play, considering there's a Volcanion that could come in. But after going for the Surf twice in a row, that kind of made Connor think that this might be choiced, which means Volcanion's a very safe play. But he does get knocked off immediately, as we see the Earth Power come out, not able to take out the Walking Wake. Cresselia is going to come in. I like the play by Connor to predict the Cresselia to come in. Otherwise, why would you do that? And go for the Steam Eruption, catch the Cresselia. Then also we get this burn on Walking Wake here. Just goes for the Draco Meteor, sacrifices the Walking Wake to take out the Volcanion. Right now, pretty evenly matched still. Like, sure, it's 5-4, but Cresselia is pretty low, Donphan's very low, and nothing else has come out here. So Connor's still in a potentially winning position. Luxray is going to come out, protect itself as it tries to take almost takes the Earthquake from Gliscor. Terra Water. Good call here to go Terra Water. I expected to see Terra Blast come out here. I think. Oh, I didn't reframe it. Gosh darn it. Okay. That's going to hopefully be the only time this video that I mess it up. Hopefully this week even. So going to be able to easily take the Earthquake there and fire off a Facade. Like I said, I kind of expected to see like Terra Water come out here. I think that would have been good for a couple of reasons. But we don't see it. Gonna go for the Facade there. Protect again, get a little bit of Toxic Heal back, as well as let the burn rack up a little bit. Facade's gonna do a butt ton of damage to Talonflame as we're gonna get rid of these Stealth Rocks. Reveals that he had Ice Fang the whole time. Ice Fang is 4 times effective, so that is going to be 65 times 4 is, what is that? That's 130. It's 260, and Facade is only 140. Like, Ice Fang would have clean KO'd that Gliscor. I'm really surprised he didn't go for it. So yeah, but got in a really good position here. We've got a Gliscor that can be easily dealt with should it come back in. We got a Talonflame who's gone down. Mike's gotten himself back into a better position here. Gliscor is going to come out as Glastrier is going to come out on the So just trying to get a little bit more toxic heal damage back. Excalibur's kind of come out. That avalanche does a ton of damage. And at this point, Connor is kind of going for broke because he's in a bad spot. The only way he's getting past this is if he gets Mike or Ishii to make some mistakes, right? That's what he's going for here. That's why we see the Dragon Dance. Heavy Slam's going to take out the Excalibur though. And at this point, he doesn't really have anything that's going to be able to clean KO the Glacier, as it's going to start racking up KOs here at the end. Again, he just kind of needs Mike to maybe misplay, so he's going to go for a nasty plot. And Connor's going to fall 5-0 there. Yeah, big win for Ishii. Puts him into the 3rd seed overall in the South. Good for him. And we can move on to our next battle. So here we are with our next battle. We've got... oh my god, I remember the names. We got Mike taking on Tyler. Both of these guys still in playoff contention. A win will put them in a solid spot to potentially make playoffs. Of course, I think this happened before Ishii versus Connor. So, basically, this one, it was still anybody's game. Come away with a win, you have a really good chance at making playoffs. Looking at the team here, now, Mike had asked me before the game, like, hey, what do you think of my matchup? Should I make some changes? And I said, I mean, look at your matchup. Tyler's team, he's got Meowscarada as a ground resist. He's got Altaria as a ground immunity. Everything else is grounded. Nothing else resists. I say just get in there with Landorus, 145 attack, and just start firing off Earthquakes. Especially once you get the Altaria out of the way. So let's see how that goes for him. So we got the Galvantula versus Mudsdale lead. Just trading hazards right here. I think that's a good call. Terra's water and fires off the Bug Buzz. Yeah, I think this is, like, I think he probably should have started Giga Draining right away. But of course, we get the Iron Defense +2 stamina boost, and that Body Press is going to be able to take out Galvantula. If he hadn't Terra'd, I don't think that the Body Press KOs him. So I don't really know what the Terra was to accomplish unless he's just trying to avoid a rock move. I don't know, but I guess it doesn't matter too much because none of his other... Actually, no, Colossal's capable of Terra-ing. I don't know if he's got it as one of his Pokemon. But, I don't know. That was kind of a little bit of a weird play, but not a big deal, especially, like, having Mudsdale as weakened as it is does open up the door for Landorus later on in the game, right? So Psychic Surge is going to go up. We're going to see Expanding Force take out the Mudsdale. Altaria is going to come out. We're going to see Hyper Voice crit here. This is actually a really smart play, not going for the Expanding Force. Expanding Force seems like the easy thing to do, but keep in mind, if Altaria is not on the ground, then that means Expanding Force doesn't get the boost from Psychic Terrain or the double damage from Psychic Terrain. So going for Hyper Voice is actually the higher damaging move here. Plus we get a crit, which is good. I mean, good for him. Obviously not good for Tyler, but I see the Draining Kiss to try to stay a little healthy there. I think that's smart. I'm going to see a Will-O-Wisp come off. I don't know why you'd bother to do that, but this last Hyper Voice is going to take out the Altaria. Really just paving the way for Landorus Therian to come in at some point. We got 2 ground weaknesses. Medicham has no real defense to speak of. Meowscarada is going to get worn down by it, especially if he gets even just one call right and goes for a U-turn. At least that's what I'm thinking at the time, right? So Meowscarada is going to come out. We got Colossal coming in. Flame Body being risked here as he goes for the knockoff. Medicham's going to come in. Stealth Rock Scope, that's just going to help the Landorus effect a lot more. Good switch there. Drain Punch is going to come out. This Scorching Sands come out. So this actually reveals the Landorus to be special, which I'm just going to say I don't get. I really don't think, like, mixing in like a Grass Knot or something on Landorus or a Psychic, depending on what are like the potential threats to Landorus, I get. I don't really like, just if you're just going to be clicking ground moves, why are we... I don't really know why we're going for special moves if it's ground. Your Earthquake is a no drawback move, stronger than Earth Power, plus coming off a better physical attack. I don't get it. I know there's a Mudsdale there, but you also have Grass Knot that's going to do like 50+% to it anyways, right? That's just my opinion. So Colossal is going to come out here on this U-turn, still trying to get that Flame Body off, and he does get it. Meowscarada is basically neutralized. So we're kind of in that spot that we were talking about where everything's pretty susceptible to Landorus now, but not going to be quite as effective just due to the fact that it's special, right? So we just see Raikou and Sylveon trading back and forth. We're going to see like a Wish Calm Mind situation here. That's the right way to go. Let Sylveon do what it does best. I think he probably could have pushed it a little bit further instead of going for Hyper Voice here. I think he could have done more Wish, Protect, Calm Minds. Or not, just really Wish Calm Minds at this point, right? He doesn't have Protect either. Tyler just sacks his Raikou there, trying to like bait the Shadow Ball, I guess. I don't really know what that play was about. He does manage to get Medicham in here, trying to go for the Poison Jab. Just based on the way he's playing, pretty heavily revealing that this is a choiced Medicham, at least as far as I can tell. Moves the Sludge Bomb, comes in on Goldengo. Don't know what, like, you went for Sludge Bomb here because you're trying to catch the Meowscarada, but I don't think you needed to do that, just because between Burn and Stealth Rocks, it was going to take, what is that, 18% damage? Unless it's Boots. I don't remember if we saw if it was Boots or not. And then an Earthquake would have done, like, 30+% to it. I don't think you need to be so aggressive with the turns you have left. But it doesn't matter really because he follows it up with an Earth Power anyway, so nitpicking. Yeah, so this is... Tyler just says, okay, I'm Ice Terra on Medicham. I've got Ice Punch. He's Scarf. Catches Mike off guard and takes out the Landorus, which isn't, at this point in the game, isn't like, the end of the world in terms of a win con here, especially because like Colossal is just going to be able to get the Flame Body Burn, follow up the Flamethrower. He's going to be able to take out this Medicham. So well done there. I like the Rapid Spin KO. Still doesn't outspeed Meowscarada, but is still going to be able to pick up the KO. So well done to Mike. Unfortunately, the way things fell didn't result in a playoff spot, but finishing strong. Yeah, good for him. Now we can move on to our next game. So here we've got what I didn't realize until after it happened. It's actually a battle to avoid last place in the South. So obviously the loser of this will be going to the Super South next season. Just kidding. We don't have 3 divisions. But yeah, so we got Papcoon taking on Mitch here. Mitch, once considered to be a rising superstar of the league, now struggling to stay out of last place in the league. Let's hop into the game here. We got Ogerpon versus Primarina, and this this is also super bizarre. I like the Psychic Noise here. This is presuming that like you're gonna live with Primarina, because the Psychic Noise would shut down a Horn Leech if it was there. But so that's something, right? Spikes is gonna come up again, starting to stack. Just Mitch trying to just stack up hazards here. Gonna U-turn out, get a crit, not a huge deal. U-turn's gonna come in. That's Smart gonna actually bait out the Surf. Mitch is making some decent plays here. Papcoon's kind of just letting this Primarina hang out here, which I don't totally get. So we're gonna see the knockoff, gonna knock off its Assault Vest. Gonna see another Moonblast come out, doesn't pick up the KO. Gonna see another U-turn. He's gonna save this in the back for a sec as Tornadus comes out. We see a Calm Mind go up. So Assault Vest, Calm Mind, pretty crazy. I feel like this was like, and also like us, like Calm Mind's not even like a good call here. This is definitely also, oh man, there's a lot going on here. I just realized. So this kind of reveals that this is a couple of things. An insane Primarina set, first of all. This is why you can't just, like, Assault Vest can't be your go-to item that you just slap shit on, because stuff like this happens. So this is clearly clicking Calm Mind just because, like, wow, I didn't think I'd get the chance to do this because of the Assault Vest. It wasn't even a good call at the point in time where the Ogerpon was still in. Now, granted, we get Tornadus coming in, and Bleakwind Storm isn't going to be able to even 2-hit KO it because of what was going on, but... Another mistake here is, see the Moonblast come out, do 40% damage. Like, that's decent damage and everything, but also, this is Torrent, not Liquid Voice. Do you know how I know that? Because he used Psychic Noise first turn, if it was in fact Liquid Voice, Psychic Noise would have turned into a water type move, which would have been absorbed by the Ogerpon Wellspring. So Torrent Boosted Surf would have done like, a lot more damage, over 50%. So would have liked to see that come out. Because also you do see it live this one here. Going for another Calm Mind is crazy. You could have definitely gotten a 2-hit KO on this if Surf had come out here instead of going for Moonblast Calm Mind. Don't understand what Papkun's doing there. That's a bizarre one. Able to get the U-turn KO. Now now he's got 2 sacks in the back. Actually, no, this isn't even a sack in the back. I'm dumb because he's going to regenerate and he's going to be perfectly fine. He's still got Ogerpon in the back. And then we see a weird thing about this Whimsicott here. Is outsped by the Rotom Frost as it goes for Terra Blast here. I think this is, we talked about it a little bit last week. I feel like Mitch is just running pretty low speed on a lot of his mons because he's assuming Tailwind is going to be able to get gotten up. Not really a fan of that strategy, but it seems to be what he's most comfortable with, right? So there's the Tailwind that we had thought might come up. Get a U-turn as Heat Train comes in, Chilly Reception out into the Cinderace, but Clues forgets about the Tailwind and is KO'd by an Earth Power. So Papkin's finding himself in a rough spot here, but he does bring in the we don't know exactly about the Crocodile, but it's definitely not Heavy Duty Boots. The Ogerpon Wellspring is going to come out and also fall to this Earthquake. Since the Tailwind's gone, that's what's going to happen. Let's try to break down why he switched out here, because I don't know, right? You're a ground type, you're locked into a ground move. I'm assuming he's choice just based on the way it's played. Should be able to KO the Whimsicott. Worst thing he can do to you, like maybe he pulls out a Grass or Fairy move, but this is like not an offensive Whimsicott. Like if a Fairy move comes out, you went into a Fighting type. You're really banking on a Grass move here big time. As we just see the Tailwind go up. Triple Arrows does KO the Whimsicott, so I guess it's no harm, no foul. Really, I guess if anything, Burn to turn to Tailwind in a way, right? But he's battled back in this. We got 3 KOs in pretty quick succession. So maybe Papkun can start to pull it back, but he's still making some weird calls. Blood Moon is going to be able to outspeed, but not KO the Hisui Decidueye. And we're going to see Leaf Blade come out, but not be able to quite get the KO. Unfortunate. Triple Arrows, I don't know the rolls. I don't know the calcs. Triple Arrows, I guess, has that chance to crit and flinch. Flinch is going after. I guess Triple Arrows also has a chance to, or Leaf Blade also has a chance to crit. So I don't no issue with that play there. I think Leaf Blade is probably overall the better move to go for, but it's not able to get the KO. But the able to live the Blood Moon here. It is going to burn out all the turns of Tailwind. So we're going to get the Crocodile being able to come out and goes for the knockoff. That's the safer play, right? Especially if this does in fact turn out to be choiced. I like that play. Gonna knock off the Clodsire, get rid of those leftovers. Gonna get Galarian Slowking coming out. And now this is where you start to really see the toll that the hazards are taking on this team, right? Got the Crocodile coming out. It's gonna have to go for Earthquake to try to get it to try to KO the Clodsire, and it does. But now it's gonna have to switch out as the Galarian Slowking's gonna come out here. Another weird thing. See the Rain Dance come out. I don't really have an issue with the Rain Dance. What I do have an issue with is if you're going to run Rain Dance and a flying type special move that doesn't miss in rain, why wouldn't you just run Hurricane over Bleakwind Storm? Bleakwind Storm's not that strong of a move. The only really redeeming factor is it is a little bit more accurate than Hurricane, and there's also that speed drop chance, but you're faster than those things anyways. So I'm not a huge fan of that strategy. And the Rotom's going to come in pretty low health, manages to outspeed the Tornadus, and we've already seen leftovers from it. This is a slow Tornadus Therian. Again, I think that must just be going with the whole game plan of Mitch's team, that he's like, I'm going to run my stuff slow because I'm going to get Tailwind up. On paper, I think it makes a little bit of sense, but we've seen a whole season of it in practice, and I don't think it's the way to go. But that being said, Mitch does come away with a win here. Manages to avoid being in last place in the South, while Papkun finishes his descent from the North Division into the bottom of the South Division. Sorry to see it, but you know what? Nowhere to go but up, right? And that leads us to our final game of the week. It's time for the marquee match of the week.
Marquee match of the week. Now we have a theme.
So here we go. Hold on, let me do some production things here. Bip, bop, bip, boop. There we go. Okay, so we're still recording. Good. So we've got Zane, the number 1 team in the league, versus Darren. Darren, also with a win, can secure himself a playoff spot, but he has positioned himself good enough during the season that it's not the end of the world if he loses, right? But obviously, he'd like to come away with a win here. Top end, we get Dragapult versus the Ogerpon Cornerstone. U-turn does a pretty good amount of damage as it knocks off this Hitmonchan. Salt Vest, Mach Punch barely misses out on the KO. Power Whip is going to clean it up there. I like what how these two guys are doing stuff, just really trading blows here early on. A lot of switching, a lot of positioning, very good stuff. Got Glaceon coming, going for the Alluring Voice, very good prediction. Catches the Paldean Tauros Aqua that's been running roughshod on the South all season. Catches an Alluring Voice, very good prediction. I thought we'd see a Freeze Dry come out here, which also I think would have been probably a better middle ground play. But you know, if it gets results, you know, why nitpick, right? It's because that's what I do on this show. Ironhead's gonna come out. I like that play there. Zane's just gonna sack the Ogerpon to the crunch. You know, that's why you have sacks in the back. We're gonna see the Terra Water come out. Raging Bull does a lot of damage. Now, oh no, this isn't the point I wanted to pause. Dragapult's gonna come out, finish off that Raging Bull. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see just like a Shadow Ball come out here. Would have put it in less of a precarious spot going forward, but we'll see. And also, actually, we see the. So we see the booster energy pop, giving this a speed boost. That's obviously what scared the Dragapult out, because if it was an attack boost, I think he would have stayed in, gone for another Draco Meteor to try to get off as much damage as he could on this Gouging Fire. We're going to see Hisuian Arcanine come in as the Dragon Dance goes up. Would have liked to see an Extreme Speed go off here just for some damage, if he had it. But he doesn't. He's going to follow the Dragon Claw. Now this is a very fast, pretty strong Gouging Fire. And now he makes a mistake here. I don't like this play, and cause basically this is a retrospect play though. Okay, so he tears water. Dragon Claw is able to nearly 2-hit KO, or definitely 2-hit KO, not nearly 1-hit KO. Ice Beam's going to do a pretty good amount of damage. And now we're going to see the Ting-Lu come out. And Morning Sun, so this is from full, which is where he would have been. He could just go ahead and Earthquake. Flare Blitz going to do a decent amount of damage. Like this is exactly where we would have been, just plus a Glaceon. Maybe, I guess this would have been a lower HP, but this I think is Ting-Lu is a less crucial part of the team than I think it's again Scarf Glaceon. Just based on the way, that's what Darren's been bringing lately. I think that's what it was. No, it might not have been Scarfed, because we saw the Paldean Tauros. I think he would have stayed in and attacked the Paldean Tauros again if it was Scarfed. But I'm not sure. I'm not running calcs, like I said. Yeah, so now we're going to see the Iron Treads come out. We're going to see Dragapult come in, take that hit. Wants to try to pop the balloon, goes for the Draco Meteor. He's not going to take that KO there, because he knows if he takes that KO, then you're going to get the Iron Treads that's going to be able to come in very safely. Yeah, you're going to get the Iron Treads that's going to be able to come in and basically just go for a knockoff and take very little damage, but it would have popped the balloon. Hard to say what the right play is there. I think what hurts Darren here pretty bad is he does get 2 Hurricane hits on him. Would have loved to dodge one of those. Maybe then he could have been safe from the Iron Treads Ice Spinner. Not really sure. Dragapult's going to come in, is going to pick up the KO. But like I said, if he had just one more Pokemon left, if he had played everything else the same but still had Glaceon in the back, then we see Glaceon get sacked to the Hoopa, right? And then this Dragapult would have been able to come in, go for a ghost move, KO the Hoopa. So really comes down to it. A couple of plays right there at the very end. Darren was very much in this. I mean, we've seen Zane run over teams for the past 3 weeks, 3 6-0s in a row, runs into Darren, escapes with a 1-0 that Darren, I really do think could have taken away if he had just made a couple of small changes at the end of the game. So based on the way things fell, Darren, like I said, snuck into playoffs even with this loss just because of what was happening around him and the tiebreakers that he had gotten during the regular season, and actually a really good Peru score that he'd been able to rack up. That being said, these two are going to play again in the first round of the playoffs, and this is going to be Zane's, like I said, Zane's been running through the South here. This is going to be a big test for Zane because... like I said, he just escaped with it here. He's got to do basically an immediate rematch. Those are super hard. Those, at least in my brain, go to the person who lost the previous time, because Darren's got a game plan to work off of. He can go, okay, here's what I did. Here's what didn't work. What can I improve? Zane can go ahead and say, okay, what worked? I can do more of that. But for the most part, I think it's... you don't want to change too much, right? But you also have to adapt based on what you think they're going to do to counter what they did. And it was such a small... there's not... if Zane had blown out Darren 6-0, even in a long battle, if he'd gotten away with a 6-0, then it's just like, okay, this Pokemon gave him trouble. He's going to counter this. He's going to counter X Pokemon by doing Y. So what can I do to beat Y? There's at least game plans here. Darren probably, if these two brought the exact same teams again and just played differently, we'll get a very different outcome. There's no way Hoop is going to not be on the field until the last little bit and only take a flamethrower. It wouldn't go this way again because they're going to learn from mistakes. I'm really looking forward to that match. I hope it's a good game. But congratulations both guys for going to the playoffs. That being said, let's head over to the Google Sheet. So we had a couple of changes to Terra types going into this. Zane changed his Terra types, just tweaked on Sceptile and Paldean Tauros. And then who else changed Terra types? Mike changed Terra types. Darren changed Terra types. I don't believe that Zane changed Terra types. So yeah, I mean, that's the matchup. We got Mike versus Zane. That's how I think a week, like they talked about, it's like a week 2 run back. Then we have a run back of just last week of Darren versus Zane. Really exciting. At the time of recording, Mike versus or Ishii versus Zhang. I'm gonna change this right now. I'm gonna go Ishii just so that way there's a little less confusion. Ooh, never mind. That's gonna fuck up all of Brett's shit. Oh, okay. Sorry. We'll worry about that later, Brett. Don't you fret. I could hear a mental scream from Seattle when I did that. So, okay. I don't think there's much more to talk about, but let's just run over and look at the standings. So it does say Mike here. Darren has tiebreakers over both of the other two 4 and 4 teams, so that's why he ended up in the 4th spot here. So just ignore that. So things to note are, okay, yeah, no, Zhang would have been in the 2 spot, doesn't matter. So Michael and Zhang, like I said, they already played at this point. But winner of Michael and Zhang automatically going to the North next season. Winner of Zane versus Darren automatically going to the North. Then loser of Michael Zhang is going to have to play the loser of Zane and Darren for 3rd place, just because due to potential expansion and stuff like that, we need to have the potential to bring up a 3rd person to the North. Not guaranteed. This isn't a guaranteed spot in the North, but basically you're first in line if we're doing an expansion. So, because as it stands now, if we don't add or subtract anybody, 2 teams from the North are coming down. Those teams are Curtis and Logan. And 2 teams are going up. If we have 9 teams in the North and 9 teams in the South, then we're going to have to bring up a third team from the South. That's why we're doing a third place game. Very important this season. Rarely do we do third place games, but now's the time to do it. Everybody, thank you again for all your support through this whole season. I know that the podcast scheduling has been kind of crazy and inconsistent. I apologize for that. But I just want to thank you all for your support through all this. And I think that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.